Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sammy from Go Sammy-Jo, and today we have a little bit of a different video. So I've been doing a lot of tutorials lately, but today we're talking about what I've been up to the past month. This past month I was able to do a really cool trip. We did a cross-country trip living in a van. We lived that van life for the past month and saw some of the most amazing things. I learned a ton this month, so I wanted to share my experience, give some tips to first-time people. I didn't do it alone. I did it with my fiance Cody. He's gonna be up here and we're gonna talk about what we learned in a bit. I'm just doing this intro myself. So the reason we did this trip is Cody is a musician and he had places that he wanted to get shows, and we had places that I wanted to go see and photograph. We decided to do this trip together so we could fulfill both those. Alright guys, so this is my fiance Cody. Say hi, Cody.
Hello.
He's got his own music channel as well, so if you want to see some of his music, you can check it out. So we're going to break it up into a couple of categories of things that we learned along the way. First thing we want to talk about is health and staying healthy on the road. This was a big thing for me because I was a bit on a health kick for the past couple of months, and I was worried because last year when we did it, we ate out every single day for every meal, and it just, you feel the impact it makes on you, and it's really harsh when you're eating out every single day. So the first thing we decided to do is we got a Yeti so that we could make lunch every day. So we made sandwiches every day, and I would buy fruit, like 4 apples and 4 peaches at a time, and snack on that. We also had carrots and ranch that we could snack on too, so just little extra things. So instead of eating out twice a day, we maybe only ate out once a day, and that also really helped us save on money too.
A lot of things that people wonder when you're looking for the cooler that's right for you is the Yeti really worth the money? Well, if you're going to be living in a van, yes. We used an older cooler last year when we were traveling in my pickup, and we would get ice in the morning, and by the afternoon it was melted. With the Yeti, as long as you're keeping it in your van where it's air conditioned for most of the day and you limit the amount of times you open the cooler, you might only stop for ice every 2 or 3 days, and that's a huge time saver as well as a money saver. Over time, the cooler will pay for itself.
Another thing we try to do is to sneak in as much nutrition as possible. Luckily for us, the first place we stayed, we actually stayed at Airbnb with a nutritionist. She has a website, Midwest Mermaid Muse, and she makes
I'm not a vegetarian, but she made a dish featuring a lot of different types of mushrooms and spices, and it was amazing. So we have a couple of things that she gave us that we tried on the road and we really enjoyed. So the first thing that I used a lot was the beverage booster. You put this in your coffee in the morning, and I'd get coffee almost every morning from a truck stop. In my little container, it was like only 50 cents for that, and then I would just add this in to just sneak in a little extra nutrition. It has a bunch of superfoods. She makes it with all natural ingredients, all herself. There we go. So she makes all of the products herself. So that was one. The other thing we would do is we have her land and seasoning, same thing, extra nutrients, and it's very good. We'll sprinkle this on even if we're eating out, just to add in a little extra nutrition. Another thing we really enjoyed is her Clovelly tea. So I would put this in a thermos with hot water and sip on it, and then it'd cool off eventually, but then I'd put it in my other Yeti with ice, and I'd have iced tea throughout the day. Another thing I recommend, since you're not gonna be able to cook as much yourself, is to pack some supplements if you have them, just to keep you up and healthy, because you're not gonna get the traditional nutrition that you will at home, so it's good to stay as healthy as possible. So another tip I have is to bring your own bottles. So one, I've got my Yeti that I fill with ice, I've got a coffee thermos, and I've got my water bottle. So when you go to gas stations to fill up on drinks or stuff, like I'll fill up my Yeti with ice for 25 cents, and then I'll fill up my coffee in my thermos, and it's like only 50 cents. So it helps save in the long term, and then you also don't have as much waste. So I used all of my cups a lot, so make sure to have your own cups. Another thing is Ziploc bags. Make sure to have Ziploc bags in case you guys make a snack, make a sandwich, but you want to save it for later. You can put it in your cooler and stuff. It really does help save a lot, and then you can make your own snacks with it and stuff too. Ziploc bags are also good for keeping track of things. Like, instead of having loose change around everywhere, and then you're digging through your whole van looking for loose change when you need it for parking or for tolls, you've got it all in one place.
Another thing that I found helpful was hair ties. So what I would do when I pack my clothes is I'd wrap them up and I'd put a hair tie around it because I'm always out of hair ties. So then I have plenty of hair ties around, but I'd also do it with other things, like we hung our one fan from the ceiling with these, and
we used them as chip clips.
Chip clips, like you can find uses for these things everywhere. So
it's better to find one thing that's compact and find multiple uses for it rather than have too much clutter and stuff. So instead of having all the chip clips with us and them getting lost or falling under a chair or rolling into a door jam, just use a hair tie. It's a lot easier.
Another thing for health is gym memberships, and this also goes into cleanliness. So we got gym memberships for this trip, not only to stay active, but this is our way of showering on the road. This was like the biggest question, is like, how do you shower on the road? Well, we're members at Planet Fitness and we're Black Card members, so we can go to any Planet Fitness throughout the US and they're like everywhere. So
don't judge.
That was our way of showering. They're everywhere and it's free. You don't have to stop at a truck stop and pay for it each time. It's honestly the easiest. If there wasn't one in the area, we could go to a truck. We didn't stop at a single truck stop to shower.
No, the only place that we did stop to shower was out west. You want to beware if you're going out west to go to the national parks. There's not a lot of Planet Fitnesses around the Utah, Arizona,
you're gonna have
the
to
Four
find
Corners
a campground.
area. Yeah, you'll either need to find a campground and use quarters to shower, which it might be like $2. But everywhere else you're going, Planet Fitness is the subway of gyms. They're everywhere. And you can use you have to get the Black Card membership to be able to shower at any gym.
I think it's only $20.
It's $20 a month.
It's totally worth it.
There's an annual fee.
A shower is like
$30.
$10-15 at a truck stop.
Yeah, truck stop showers can vary.
So many different places, so it's weird, but it works. Also, we would work out if we had extra time, and if you have a favorite TV show that you're gonna miss, you can go to the Planet Fitness and watch it while you're walking. That's what we did. We watched The Bachelor. Another thing with cleanliness, so I would just pack a regular gym drawstring bag and have everything that I use, even stuff like to curl my hair and makeup and everything was in that bag, along with my towels and stuff too, so that was good. Some Planet Fitnesses have hair dryers, but not everywhere does, so if you want to bring your own hair dryer, that's always a good idea too.
Another tip for showering is I brought Under Armour sandals that had the cloth.
Bring your own sandals because you don't know if it's going to be a good one or a bad one. So Planet Fitness was pretty clean, but actually some of the other, like the campgrounds weren't as nice, so you definitely want to have those flip-flops. The next thing we want to talk about is where to sleep and where you're going to stay.
Our two main places we slept at.
This is going to get tricky because I don't know how legal any of this is. Look it up.
Yeah,
but
it may
we
not.
got lucky and nobody bothered us. I'm pretty sure as long as you're not there multiple nights in the same place and you're not causing havoc, nobody's gonna bother you. So we would stay at Walmart's, we would stay at Planet Fitnesses. Another good thing is to stay in shopping centers where there's multiple businesses. That way if like the one business in front of you is closed and they're like, why is there a car there, they're not weird. They'll be like, oh, maybe they're going to that business or something too. So another thing is, mostly wherever we slept, we tried to be a customer for. So if we slept in a Walmart, we would go in and do a couple of grocery shopping before we slept. Don't worry, we're not total. Get back up.
We're not total homeless vagrants.
Yeah, that way we're not totally using them. And same thing with Planet Fitness, we'd sleep there, but we're members there. We use their gyms a ton and their showers a ton too.
The thing to keep in mind about Planet Fitness is some locations are 24/7 and some are 24/5, meaning that on the weekends they're not open at night. So if you need a bathroom on the weekends and the Planet Fitness isn't open, just go to the Walmart. They're usually located conveniently right next to each other or across the shopping plaza.
There's so many Walmarts. You'll find one.
Yeah. So the best way to do it is, if you're living in a van, you can keep it low key. Go towards the back of the parking lot. A lot of parking lots now have little grassy islands with trees in them. Park under the tree, put your sunshade in the window, pull all your blinds down or homemade curtains if you have those, and just go to sleep for the night. Don't make a ruckus. Don't leave trash outside of your van. The workers at Walmart don't get paid enough to care that you're there.
Yeah.
So as long as you're not making a scene, you're fine. Yeah. They're not going to bother.
Walmart camping's like a thing. There's probably like a Facebook group for it and everything, because we've been to a couple of Walmarts where there was so many vans and you knew they were all camping out like we were. Our first night, I think we came up to another van and we were just looking at it and we're like, do you think they're doing what we're doing? And they definitely were. So
they were.
There's lots of Walmart campers out there. So again, as long as we're at a different place every night, so as long as you're not in the same place every night and you're moving around and you're not having a ruckus, nobody can bother you. But then again, I don't know any of the legal stuff on this, if it's illegal or not. I have a feeling it's iffy. I'm not sure what the rules are.
We're not responsible if you get arrested.
Don't blame me.
We're not responsible if
we
you get arrested.
were safe when we did it. Not saying you will be, but you shouldn't have a problem. Another thing, sleeping in the van. So when we slept in the van, it was actually pretty comfy. Like I didn't have any problems. When we stayed in a hotel in Las Vegas, I got up the next day and I told him, I'm like, I missed the van last night because it was super cozy. But there are a couple of situations. So if it gets hot, that can get a little bit, we're very lucky that it got cool at night where we were. It was hot during the day but very cool at night, which made it easy to sleep. But when it gets hot, it can be a little stuffy. You can almost feel a little suffocated, and that's not good. You won't suffocate if you keep the windows down and stuff. So what we would do if it got hot, we'd crack the windows open and keep the fan. We had a couple of portable fans where we would keep those going at night then too. If you can, put the one fan in where the opening is and it'll draw air from the outside and bring it in, which is a good thing. Another thing we'll do, if it's not going to get too hot, what we'll do is we'll crank the air on in the van 20 minutes before we get to our location, and don't open any doors after you're done, and it'll actually keep the van pretty cool for a while. And on the opposite side, it could get too cold in there. That's why we say have a lot of layers of blankets so that you can get under and keep yourself warm. He's pretty warm, so he's like a portable heater, but I get cold easily, but I don't think he ever had a problem with getting cold.
As far as fans go, because you don't want to waste your fuel running the air conditioner all night and running your van all night, we got portable fans that run on D batteries or USB. So the USB ones you can just hook up to a power bank that you charge in the van during the day while you're driving, because you'll spend a lot of time in the van driving during the day.
So charging things, so that can be a little bit tricky too, especially when you don't have a home base location to charge at. So you can get a converter, or some vans come with outlets in them. So whenever we're driving long distances, I always try to have something charging in the background, because we're driving so far, it's good to charge it up. What happens when we do stop at locations, I did this right before we left and I'm so glad I did. I usually keep my chargers by the device they charge, which can get messy. So instead I made one box. This is just like a camera container, and I have every single charge cord for every single device in here. So what we'll do is, and I've got a couple like little extension cords in here too, so I can plug multiple things in. So if we're at a Panera and there's an outlet next to us, I'll plug everything in while we're sitting and eating. Or if he had a show, I would plug everything in there too. Or if we were at a place for a night, set it all up and just charge while we could. So this was helpful because it just kept everything organized. So highly recommend doing this if you, I'm a photographer, so I have a lot of devices to charge, so him not so much, but this was very helpful. So let's talk about money and saving for the trip and how much everything costs. What we like to do for money when we're on trips is we try to work as much as we can while we're on these trips. Cody plays his shows, so we have income coming in that way, and then I try to work with different hotels or Airbnbs. Most of the time it's actually not for money but a place to stay, but sometimes I do offer extra services for that and I'll edit it on the trip. Plus I also work online a little bit too. I built a website while we were on the road and use that. So that's one way of having extra income to help keep you going.
If you're a musician like me, you sell CDs online or you sell CDs at your shows. Also, you want to find a niche item that people love. I have koozies made out of burlap that sell like hot cakes. They're $5 a piece. I got a box of 50 of them before we left on the trip and we ran out.
Another thing we like to do is we save up all our gift cards that we get all year from like Christmas and birthdays, and we save them for the trip. And when we eat out, out, we use a lot of those, so we got a lot of meals out of those, so that was a good way of, you know, staying fed on the road and stuff like that too.
So when your parents ask you what you want for Christmas or your birthday and you don't know what to tell them, just tell them, get me a gift card for a chain fast food restaurant or a chain sit-down restaurant like Applebee's or Olive Garden. Choose something that's everywhere that you can find. We found Applebee's all over the place.
Yeah.
Panera too. Panera's great.
Another thing you can do to save up is to get a gas rewards card. There's probably going to be a lot of Loves or Pilots. So
Travel Centers of America, also known as TA. There's a lot of those.
Just get a rewards card. It could save you a couple of bucks down the road. If you're doing all the national parks like we did, get a national park card. You'll so I think it's $80 total. We split it 40-40, and then you're free to get into any park, so that's really nice because we hit a ton. We definitely made that money back really quickly, and we got to see a bunch of stuff. So, and it's good for a year, so even after your trip you could continue to use it. So that was a really good move on our part. Glad we did that.
One park, if you pay for one individual park day pass, for your whole carload, it costs you like $30 or $35 depending on the park. The season pass covers 2 people, so it covered us. So it was $80 for the year, and it paid for itself by the end of it because we went to so many different parks.
Yeah, definitely worth it. Another thing to do is make sure to optimize your storage as much as possible. With our van, it's a basic conversion van, so we had the bed laid down the back, and we had a ton of storage underneath. We also had a big tote, and then that we could store things in, and just find ways to store things in parts that you wouldn't originally thought. He had extra room in his suitcase, so we threw a couple extra things that were laying out around in the van in there, so that was really good. Another thing is if you're traveling with another person, you're gonna get to know them pretty well and you're gonna figure out what makes them tick, and you gotta get a hold of that real quick before you start fighting over it. So good communication with who you're with is you want to make sure you have good communication so you don't start fighting.
Yeah, for instance, I make Danny Tanner look messy. I'm a neat freak. So I was, in the beginning, getting on her case about leaving things laying around, but eventually you have to learn that, hey, some people are more messy than others, and you have to learn to compromise and set aside times. If you're a neat freak, set aside times to clean the van and remake the bed. And
yeah, he didn't like all my cords charging everything in the back, but I had to charge while we were driving. But I tried to keep everything as neat as possible done too, once he told me he's got problems. I'm kidding, I'm sorry. You don't have problems. Okay.
I got issues with being clean.
Yeah. Another thing that was a lifesaver for us was getting a sunshade. It helped keep the van cooler, plus it acted as like another shade so nobody could see us, because in the back we have blinds in the back so they can't see us there, and so that blocks out the front then, and it also keeps it cool. Another thing to do is to make sure that you are safe. So if you are staying in a van, there's not a whole lot protecting you. So another reason we like Walmart parking lots is they do have security cameras out there, so if something would happen, there's that. Another thing, so we kept pepper spray in the car, and we kept a taser in the car just in case, but for the most part nobody bothered with us at all. So it's just good to have a little bit of backup there just in case, or to have a plan. I always made sure I had my key close to me, so if something would happen in the middle of the night, I could just get up, get in the front seat, and drive away and stuff. So just always, always be thinking in the back of your mind to stay safe.
If you're comfortable with packing heat, make sure that you have a legal license to carry, because when you keep a loaded gun in your car, it's considered concealed, so you have to have a concealed carry permit. And also make sure that you're aware of what states your permit is good in, because they're not good in, no permit is good in all 50 states. So that's another thing to research for those of you who are comfortable carrying firearms for protection. Another
thing is for your cooler. Some places, instead of just having ice, they have ice blocks where it's just a frozen block. Those stay frozen a little bit longer, so those are always good to get if they have it. If not, what we did for a little bit when we were able to, we kept a Simply lemonade container, filled it up with water, and froze it. and that stayed pretty frozen for a while. So but the only problem is that we weren't staying in as many places where we could freeze it overnight then too. So it works for a little bit. If you have places to stay every couple of days to refreeze it, that's great. Another thing to do is to take break days. So days where you can just sit down to organize. We had days where it was like laundromat day, where we sat down and got laundry done, and while the laundry was going, I got work done on my laptop and stuff, reorganized the van, we washed the van. So you're gonna be really busy, but make sure every once in a while to just take a break to kind of reset everything so you're able to keep on going.
If you try to do a different activity or see a new thing every single day, you will lose your mind.
Yeah.
Just take your time. You'll get there when you get there. Break days are good. Also, break days were good for us to get a break from each other. You know, sometimes you have days where it's like, I just want to be solo for a little bit. So like, I dropped her off at the laundromat. She did laundry and got work done while she waited on the laundry, and I went and found a car wash and washed the van. And all was good. Some days I wanted barbecue. She doesn't eat red meat, so I would drop her at a Chipotle and I would go down the street and get some barbecue, and then we'd meet up afterwards.
Yeah.
It was nice. And then, you know, you don't get so sick of each other because you're around each other all the time. Sometimes you just need a break for a minute.
Yeah. Alright, so that's about all the things I think we learned.
Yeah, if you have any tricks that you didn't see in this video, leave them in the comments, and it'll help us next time, and it'll help everybody else that's watching this video, because van life is, the tips and tricks are pretty much endless. Our way isn't always the best way for everybody. You might find some things yourself along the way, or some things that you do that make it easier on you, and not everybody's van is the same. So yeah, leave your tips that you learned in the comments, or if you have any questions, let us know and we'll get back to you.
Be sure to keep an eye out for new videos. I got a ton of really cool footage out there, so I'm going to be making a ton of edits from this trip. And also, at this moment, I'm about to surpass 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, so I just wanted to say thank you guys to everyone that has subscribed. I'm so excited that everyone has joined me, and I'm really excited to start making more videos soon, so it means a lot. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
My channel's linked in the description. Please subscribe so I can catch up to her.
You're funny.